Classification and characteristics of tissues. Definition of tissues. Biological tissue is a collection of interconnected cells that perform a similar function within an organism. In other words, it is a group of cells working together mainly inside an organ. Classification of tissues. Human body is composed of four basic types of tissues. There are first one epithelial tissue, second one connective tissue, third one muscular tissue, fourth one nervous tissue. Origin of tissue. The fertilized egg divided to produce three primary germ cell layers. These layers differentiation to form the tissue of the body. Epithelial tissue. Epithelial cells cover or line all body surfaces, cavities, and tubes. So, these are called covering epithelial. Epithelial cells form the functional unit of secretory glands. So, these are called glandular epithelia. General characteristics of the tissue. Closely attached to each other, forming a protective barrier. Always has one free surface open to outside the body or inside an internal organ. Always has one fixed section attached to underlying connective tissue. Has no blood vessels but can soak up nutrients from blood vessels in connective tissue underneath. Can have lots of nerves in it innervated. Very good at regenerating. Sunburns, kinetoconii. Functions. Tissue functions protect the tissues that lie beneath it from radiations, desiccation, toxins, invasion by pathogens, and physical trauma. The regulation and the exchange of chemicals between the underlying tissues and a body cavity. The sections of hormones into the blood vascular system and/or the secretion of sweat, mucus, enzymes, and other products that are delivered by ducts, glandular epithelium. To provide sensation, absorb stomach and the intestinal lining. Fillets are the kidney, form secretory glands. Second one, classification of epithelium. First one, there are, according to thickness, simple, one cell layer. Stratified, more than one layer of cells, which are named according to the shape of the cell in the epithelium. According to shape. Squamous, wider than tall. Cuboidal, as tall as wide. Columnar, taller than wide. You can see this picture, simple and stratified types of the tissue. Squamous, suboidal, columnar. Next, connective tissue. Connective tissue. The tissues that connect the different parts of the body together are called connective tissue. General characteristics: the intercellular material is maximum, whereas the cellular component is minimum. Unlike the other tissues, epithelium, muscle, and nerve, which are formed mainly by cells that measure constituted of connective tissue, is extracellular matrix. Certain process cells, fibers, and ground substances. basic function connective tissue, the support and binding of other tissues, holding body fluids, defending the body against infections. For example, macrophages, plasma cells, mast cells, and storing nutrients as fat. Classification of connective tissue. There consists of the four types. First one, connective tissue proper, cartilage tissue, and bone tissue, and blood. The connective tissue proper loose and dense. Loose consists of three types: areola, reticulum, adipose, and the dense types consists of three types: regular, elastic, and the irregular. Second one, types of connective tissue: cartilage tissue. Cartilage tissue consists of hyaline, elastic, and the fibrocartilage. And third one, bone tissue, bone. Parts of connective tissue, bone, there consist of two types, compact and spongy. And four parts of blood. Connective tissue proper, loose and areola. Descriptions: gel-like matrix with all three fiber types: cells, fibroblasts, macrophages, mast cells, and white blood cells. Functions: each macrophages phagocytize bacterium, plays important role in the inflammation, holds and conveys tissue fluid. Location: distributed under epithelium of body, surrounds capillaries. Cartilage, hyaline. Description: amorphous but firm matrix. Chondroblasts produce the matrix, and when a major layer in lacuna functions, supports and reinforces, resists compressive stress. Location: forms most of the embryo's skeleton, ends and long bonus cartilages of nose. Cartilage elastic types. Description: they are similar to hyaline cartilage, but more elastic fibers in matrix. And the cartilage elastic types of functions maintains the shape and allow flexibility. Location: supporting the external ear, for example, pinna. And the fibrocartilage, the types of cartilage tissue. The description: collagen fibers are predominate. Matrix is always hyaline but less firm. Functions: high tensile strength, absorb compressive shock. Location: in vertebral discs of near joint. Bone. Bone tissue. Description: hard calcified matrix, contains mainly collagen fibers, very well vascularized. Functions: bone support and protects, provides a level for the muscle to act, and stores calcium and other minerals and fat. Bone marrow is the site of blood cell formation. Location: skeleton. Blood, blood cells. Descriptions are liquid connective tissue, red and white blood cells in the fluid matrix. Functions are transport respiratory gases, nutrients, wastes, and other substances. Location: in the blood vessels. Muscular tissue. Muscle is one of our four tissue types, and muscular tissue combined with nerves, blood vessel, and the various connective tissue. Muscular and quite complex, and as well we'll find out they are moral, both biology and physics. General characteristics: muscular tissue, Excitability, the ability to receive and respond to stimulus. In skeletal muscle, the stimulus is a neurotransmitter, for example, chemical signal released by a nerve cell. In smooth muscle, the stimulus could be a neurotransmitter, a hormone, streets, and the cardiac muscle. The stimulus could be a neurotransmitter, hormones, or streets. The response is the generation of an electrical impulse that travels along the plasma membrane of the muscular cell. Contractility. Contractility. The ability to shorten forcibly when adequately stimulated. This is the defined property of muscle tissue. Extensibility. Second one, the ability to be stretched. Force elasticity, the ability to recoil and resume original length after being stretched. Functions of the muscular tissue. First one, movement. Second one, locomotion. Third one, maintains posture. Fourth one, produces heart. Five on facial expressions. Six on pumps blood, and the seventh on peristalsis. Three types of muscle tissue. There are cardiac muscle cells, skeletal muscle cells, and smooth muscle cells. Skeletal muscle tissue, there is in the picture, you can see the description along straighter cells with multiple nuclei. Functions that are contraction for voluntary movements, location in skeletal muscle. Muscles on muscle cells. Muscle cells contains proteins that make it look layered or straighter. Smooth muscle tissue. Description: long spindle shaped cells, each with a single nucleus. Function: propulsion of substances along internal passageways. Location: in hollow organs, stomach. Cardiac muscle tissue. The description: branching, striated cells further at plasma membranes. Function: pumping of blood in the circulatory system. Wall of heart. Location: nerve tissue. Four types of nerve tissue. The nerve tissue, by far the most complex tissue in the human body, is nerve tissue, formed by a network of more than 100 million nerve cells, assisted by many more glial cells. Each neuron has on an average at least 1,000 interconnection with other neurons, forming a very complex nervous system. Functions: regulatory, controls body functions. Generated, transmits nerve impulses, supports insulated, and protects impulse generating neurons. Composition of nerve tissue. The nerve tissue is composed of two elements. There are the nerve cells are neurons, the neuroglia. Neuron description: neurons are branching cell processes that may be quite long extent from the nucleus containing cell body. Functions: transmits electrical signals from sensory receptors and to effectors, muscle and glands that control their activity. Location: brain, spinal cord, and the nerves. The structure of the neuron. Neurons consist of axon and dendrite, cell body, node of Renier, nucleus, myelin, sheath, Schwann cells. Next one. Thank you.